I saw the Chris Pine Star Trek movie, and that was in 2016. So I guess it makes sense that they would follow it up with like, oh, we've re-energized people about it. Let's make a TV show.
Yeah. So right before Picard came out, there was a Star Trek Discovery, which was trying to like bridge the gap between the J.J. Abrams slop and Star Trek as a whole. And I think it did a pretty good job. And then like after like a successful like season or two, then Picard came in.
Yeah. Have we ever liked anybody in the comments do we like J.J. Abrams? I'm not very well versed on like movie directors or like TV people. So other than like Michael Schur, I know if something is by Michael Schur, I'm probably going to enjoy it. But I feel like I get mixed reviews on JJ. Some people, it sounds like, really love him.
I feel like J.J. Abrams is good at, in the same way that Stephen Moffat is good. They're both good at setting things up.
Sure.
Right.
Okay.
And like setting up some cool possibilities and cool potentials, but they fall when they try to follow through on those things. J.J. Abrams, when he did Star Trek, it was just Star Wars. And then when he did Star Wars, it was just the same Star Wars. Like, you know, The Force Awakens was like, you know, super nostalgia baity. And like, I think it has its merits in like setting up some like interesting things that can happen in the sequels. And then like, then he didn't do The Last Jedi. And I think that's why that one's my favorite, because that one makes the most choices.
And then he spent too much of the third one trying to walk back on the choices that were made in the second one.
And that wasn't necessarily J.J. Abrams' fault. That was a lot of Disney, but like, you know, it was J.J. Abrams for both the first two Star Trek movies. And like, I really didn't like the direction. I didn't like looking back, I can appreciate some of the choices that were made, but it's just like, I said this to Jeff the other day when it was like, when I first saw the ads, I knew that it was in trouble because it was being advertised as the next Star Wars movie. And that's just like, they're two separate for a reason.
Right.
Star Wars is about the wars. Star Trek is about not doing the wars.
Right. It's about exploration and hope and...
It's about like trying to bridge the gap between cultures and what do we do as a people when we don't have to worry about societal pressures, which is why The Good Place is one of my favorite shows.
I love The Good Place. I like Michael Schur's, the perspective that he brings, I feel like is very warm and hopeful to a lot of his stuff. It's like, it's silly and it honors what is silly and absurd while still seeing it as like net good. And like, we can use the absurdity to put good out into the world. I really like that about him.
Yeah, me too.
I remember reading an interview with Michael Schur once where he was talking about the transition from things like Parks and Rec and Brooklyn Nine-Nine into making The Good Place. And he said that like his whole thing up to that point had been looking at perfect people in an imperfect world. Like Leslie Knope is this kind of ideal person in a very imperfect society. And same thing with the Nine-Nine and Brooklyn Nine-Nine is like, they are good cops in a not great world. Whereas The Good Place, he was like, okay, what would happen if I took very imperfect people and put them in the most perfect world?
Jeff, who's the guy who does Clerks? Who's that director that you really like?
Kevin Smith.
Why do you like Kevin Smith?
Because Kevin Smith writes the way that I perceive the world, where everyone talks in monologues and pop culture references. Like Kevin Smith was very much like one of those early filmmakers who put pop culture as a focus in their writing, not that they were writing pop culture films, but the characters in them were people that appreciated pop culture and would make pop culture references like my friends and I would make. It was very sort of realistic, and it doesn't hurt that he is also from New Jersey, like 35 minutes away from the town that I grew up in.
Oh my God.
That's cool.
Yes. I have visited the Quick Stop from Clerks many times. And he owns a comic book store in Red Bank, New Jersey, which, like, in order to fund Clerks, he sold his comic book collection. Like, he took out a bunch of credit cards, maxed them out, asked friends and family for money, and then sold his comic book collection to fund his first movie. But then, once he was successful enough, he owns a comic book store.
Listen, if I had to give away my favorite thing and it made my dreams come true, then immediately I would want to go back and get my favorite thing. Like, immediately.
There is, if anyone's ever looking for the perfect present to get me,
write this down, everybody.
Venmo, the IT crowd.
With Jeff's favorite thing.
Another, like, constant thing in Kevin Smith's movies is his love of hockey. And so there are hockey jerseys based on a lot of his movies. And one of them is a Blackhawks jersey, a Chicago Blackhawks jersey with his character Silent Bob on it instead of the, like, Blackhawks logo. And I'm like, this is the perfect blend of New Jersey and Chicago, and I need this jersey.
That's so good. Yeah, you guys should Venmo us so we can get Jeff his perfect gift.
There we go.
Right
and then
there.
We'll get a backup one in case it gets stained.
Yeah.
So Venmo us double so we can get 2 of them. But we won't tell Jeff about the second one.
No.
We'll just tell him about the first.
We'll wait until something tragic happens to the first one.
Keep putting me on the IT crowd, or this one gets it.
Do either of you have any influential writers or directors that you feel like have impacted your sensibilities?
Oh, impacted sensibilities. Interesting. Because, like, influential Spielberg, right? Like, you know, he made Jurassic Park, which is, like, the thing that set me down the path where I am now. You know, made me an actor and also a nerdy girl obsessed with dinos. I was going to say Denis Villeneuve, I think is how you say his name. Because, like, I like every single thing that I've seen him do is just, like, masterful. You know, Blade Runner 2049, minus Jared Leto, I kind of think is maybe a little bit better than the first one.
In that movie.
Yeah, right. Both Blade Runners have a terrible part, and in Blade Runner 1, it's the essay. In Blade Runner 2, it's Jared Leto. It's the one mistake I've seen Denis make. But I fucking love The Arrival, right? Like, that has to be one of my all-time favorites. Like, it's like, again, it's kind of the thing that I really love about Star Trek, where it's like 2 different cultures and then subcultures within certain cultures, like trying to figure out how to communicate with each other at risk of peril and conflict. And Arrival just does it so well. When I first watched that in movies in the theaters, I was so blown away that I just couldn't focus for the next, like, 3 hours. I was very happy that somebody else was driving home, because I was more unfocused than when I'm drunk. Not that I would ever drink and drive, but it would have been worse if I was driving after having seen that movie than if I had taken a couple drinks.
Damn.
All right.
If you haven't seen The Arrival, go see it.
I find it fascinating because I'm entering this stage of my life as I am putting down my phone and paying more attention to the big screen, that I don't have answers to these. I was like, wow, I've been really disengaged from the artists who make my favorite art. So I'm kind of on, like, an exploration of, like, who are these people, and, like, where can I kind of follow them down the rabbit hole as I fall in love with performing and theater and all that again? Because I don't want to get too, like, TMI or emotional about it. But for a very long time, I did not feel like I was worthy to engage as an actor fully. or as an artist fully. I was like, that's not for me. That's for people at a different talent level than me. And I'm kind of learning that you don't need talent to have the appreciation, or you don't need, like, I don't need to be the best actor in the world to love the voice acting on Avatar: Last Airbender, but I do need to be specific about why I like it. You know what I mean? I'm like, can I take it the step further and be more analytical of why I think certain people were the right choice because of what they bring to the character, and less, I don't know, it sounds good. So, and be just being more curious about what draws me to certain media. Yeah.
I love that.
That's whenever I would lead wine tastings. That's what I would tell people of, like, try all of these wines, not because you're going to like them all, but I want you to start thinking about why you like them, why you don't like them, not just, this is gross. Like, what are the flavors you like, or the sensations that you dislike? Like, that's how you really start to appreciate them. So I'm glad that you're experiencing that with the media that you can see.
Yeah, because like as I'm kind of galvanizing how I want to approach theater, because like the older I get, the more I'm like, I'm going to build a theater company, but I want to have a vision. You know what I mean? And I feel like I've been kind of like, art's fun and we need it. And I'm like, no, can we like bring it in? And in that exploration, it has broadened curiosity. And these, like, I'm paying more attention to the direction rather than the care. Because I think for a long time, I was kind of confusing direction and acting choices a little bit too much. And people will be like, oh, I can totally see the hand of the director. And I'm like, you can? What does that mean? Like, what are you looking for? And just being a little bit more analytical on why I like the media I like. Not saying that it's wrong. Like, I'm allowed to like cartoons for kids because X, Y, and Z. I'm allowed to not like this because X, Y, Z. And being more opinionated on that.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Thank you.
That's exactly what we were talking about before we went live. That was kind of like my rant when it comes to the people who don't like The Last of Us, because it's like they don't understand why they don't like it. So they just kind of like throw words out and things that they've heard people say.
And I'm not here to be like, everybody should go watch Severance. I know it's not for everybody, but that was the TV show that I was like, okay, I am intentionally engaging with this TV show. Let's put my phone down. What do I notice? And like treating TV like a play. Like, yeah.
Sometimes you come across art and you're just like, I need to know more about that medium so I can fully appreciate it. Like the first time I saw 500 Days of Summer, only time I've seen it, which was like last year or something. And I was like, just like in a couple of the first sequences, I was like, the director is trying to tell me something, and I do not have the vocabulary to understand what it is. And I don't like that. And I want to talk to somebody who does know what that is so I can understand what they're trying to say to me in this moment.
Oh, film appreciation classes, y'all.
Look at this. We're basically doing a master class instead of like all of the goofs and gaps we normally do.
We'll get to the game.
You know what? I think people appreciate being our variety from like gossip yap session to like analytical dissertations.
We're three-dimensional beings.
I just where'd it go? I just want to address Debbie's comment, because absolutely that is one of Mel Brooks' superpowers. But the thing that enables Mel Brooks to pull that off isn't just the use of absurd to take on these things. It's that at the core of all of his films, and to hear him talk about this is awesome, is that at the core of all of his films is a central relationship that is impacted by and exploring the effects of those powerful and influential things. Like, so many of his early movies are father-son relationships in some way. Whereas like then going into like Young Frankenstein is like a father-son legacy sort of relationship, where Dr. Frankenstein is sort of combating the legacy of his family that we never meet, but then his relationship with his son of the creature, things like that. And then Blazing Saddles is a little bit more of like that bromance between Gene Wilder and Bart. So using absurd is great, but grounding it in relationships is what allows you to see the effects of the abhorrent, the powerful, and the influential.
Oh, I love that. That's because I had never heard that part. I had only heard the first part that like Debbie would talked about, but like it is that second part that really kind of like sets it apart.
If you get the chance, listen to Mel Brooks's audiobook, the audiobook of his memoir. The memoir is titled All About Me. He narrates the audiobook, so it's just Grandpa Mel reading you his, like, telling you stories about his life. And it's amazing. Might be one of my favorite nonfiction books of all time.
Oh, that's so good.
So that's 2 things we can get Jeff for Hanukkah. If we can get 5 more, we'll have every day taken care of.
Oh, I already have the book and the audiobook. Like, I have the physical copy and the audiobook. I'm good.
Well, we got to turn that into a Blackhawks jersey that also has a Clerks reference. So.
Oh yeah, okay. You could make it like a tour date kind of thing where it's like, or what they do with like the B movie script, and you just print the entire book on a Blackhawks jersey.
Yes.
You mean like I have of the script for Clerks?
Yes.
That has the actual dialogue from the movie in the shape of a scene from Clerks?
Yeah, exactly.
Rebecca, yes, like appreciating the costume designer the most when watching any movie. Like, yeah, I'm at a point where I'm paying attention. I was like, that was really good sound design because it did this. Like, or that was a really good transition because X. Like,
if you want a good movie for paying attention to like sound design, specifically composing and like scores, I highly recommend The Challengers.
I just watched that. And I agree.
Right?
I was like, the use of sound is so visceral. Like, it gets a little horny in a big monologue, and there's going to be a club beat behind it.
For me, it there was a moment where like the 2 of them were arguing while they were in college, like the girlfriend and the guy who ends up being like the guy who's down on his luck, right?
Sure.
Like they're having an argument, and the music kicks back in, and I recognize that that's the music when they're having a tennis match.
Yes,
that's how they are fighting. They're fighting like it's a tennis match because it's all just one game. And it's just like, oh, because the music is so loud, because the music is so in your face, as opposed to a lot of other scores where it's more like kind of in the background and you feel it rather than hear it and experience it that way. It's in your face, so you get to like be conscious of it when it's happening.
Yes, Challengers was so good. I really, really enjoyed it.
It's so good, and it is so funny and horny, and like if you're looking for a great horny time, guys,
I don't understand how more people.
If you're looking for a great horny time, Venmo us.
Hey,
and put that in.
Well, you know, speaking of funny horny times.
IT crowd.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Improv Technology. If you're here, you probably know who we are, but just in case you don't, we are the premier internet-only improv team in existence. We've been doing this for over 5 years now. Name someone who's been doing it for longer than us. I dare you. But my name is Jeff Wolfthal. I'm your host. And tonight, I am joined by 2 of my favorite funny people that I ever get to hang out with and do improv with. Let me introduce them to you right now. First off, we got Robin Fertitta.
Woo! That's right. It's a new space every time I do the show. You'll never find me.
And it's Katie Hope Noble.
If that left nut guy's here, make yourself known.
That was wild.
I did think about that. I was like, should I put on a shirt? And then I went, no.
Do it for left nut guy.
Left nut guy.
Hot. I can't. I guess really us Chicagoans cannot complain. I'm sure it's just boiling everywhere south of us. But
I mean, I look because like I got family in South Texas and all that stuff, and like kind of everywhere we're all experiencing kind of the same heat right now.
Well, then this is a unifying heat.
Yeah. Brings us together.
Yeah.
In suffering.
Like we need more suffering to bring us together.
But this is a suffering that, well, no, I was about to say this is a lighthearted suffering, but like
this is the evergreen suffering. These are things, regardless of what administration, we will be dealing with the heat and whining about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But speaking of collective suffering, let's do our first game.
20 minutes in, you sure?
Yeah, I think so. Look,
I'm really proud of us.
Hey, we yapped. That was our goal, everybody. Our goal.
Katie remembers far back enough when Katie was at the Ren Fair. I did an independent show with Doug Wallace and Matt Selly. We called ourselves the Men of Confidence. It was a like con man show, and we eventually got to a point where we decided to go an entire show without doing a show. We filled our entire 45-minute slot just bullshitting with the audience and never got to the actual content. We never did the first bit of the show.
Oh, you got some Man of Confidence lovers in the crowd.
Ooh.
Brianna remembers. Petridge Farm remembers.
You man.
But we're not doing that tonight. Our first game is a game where they're going to have to figure out some costumes and props because they're going to be doing some dating videos.
Okay, hold on. I got to get off my chair. I got to be mobile. I got to be the mobile noble.
All right. I'm going to put them away so they can start preparing frantically while I tell you what they're about to do. So Katie and Robin are about to come back on screen as people recording a like 1980s style mall dating video. Remember when we did that in malls? That was a time, right? If you met your partner because of a dating video that you recorded at a mall, put it in the chat. But so we're going to see who they are, and we'll have some little bit of fun with it. So I'll see you in a little bit because they're the ones that are going to be making you laugh. Bye.
Uh, 101, 102, 100 and oh, hey, I didn't see you there. It's just me, Bridget Bardot. Not that one, this one. I'm a bodybuilding babe from the back of my mama's cabin. That's right, my mom built a cabin with her bare hands. And you know what? She was part bear. And while I might not have a hair, I have got the heart of a bear to keep you safe from harm, to keep you safe in the woods. I know how to forage. I know how to make a cabin out of bear hands. Don't tell my mom. And I know how to love you like a person who does 100 of the 5-pound weights. Yeah, I'm a Pilates babe.
All right. Let's see who we will meet next.
I'm tired. Are you tired? I'm tired. It is not exactly our time. I've learned how to not have to worry about it. That's right. I'm Sethy McTravel, and I'm here to recruit you into my travel journey. Now, I've been doing this for about 5 years, going from country to country. I never got to worry. I got my headphones. I got my sunglasses if it's bright. I got my sleep mask if it's too bright, right? I'm all ready for you. And if you're too bright, boom. And then we can still be together. That's right. I'm prepared for every single occasion. So you give me what you got, and we can go to the Bahamas. We could go to Canada. We could go to Scotland. We could go anywhere. I'm here for you.
All right. Very promising. Let's see who we'll meet next.
Hi. I work down at Fish Mark. I spend a lot of days there, or you could call me an early riser. The early girl gets the halibut. Actually, just for the halibut, why don't I show you one of my treasures from the sea? Yes, that's correct. For all you marine biologists out there, you'll recognize this as a koala marina. Look at her. Ain't she beautiful? She couldn't possibly be more beautiful than you. Hi. I forgot what I said my name was. I want you to know that I'm here for you through the storm and the calm.
All right. And our next potential date.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. I bet you thought this was real, huh? No, I painted it. I'm a pretty good artist, aren't I? The name's Jane. Now, if you're ever wondering, hey, Jane, how did you become such good a painter? I just want to tell you, it was the sex. I'm very good at that, too. So if you want, I could maybe spread some of this paint around on you. We could make some happy little clouds together. Maybe a happy little accident, if you know what I'm saying. I'm just kidding. I'm not Bob Ross. I'm Jane, a fantastic painter, as you can see. Let's see. Hold on. We got to get a little bit more of the finer details, just like I want to do the finer details on you. Boop.
All right. All right. Let's see some more. Who we got here?
Hello, my name is Acola. I'm certainly only 109 years old. That was a joke. I know human jokes. I know other kinds of jokes, too. This is not a joke, though. Finding someone to care about you in your old age is vital. And as someone who is certainly not an Alexa from Amazon who is turned human by a witch, I'm uncertain of what else to do with my time. But I do like telling you what the weather is, reminding you of your alarms, and talking when you don't want me to.
Too real. And one final dating video.
I am the human traffic cone. My name is Treffy. I have been turned into a living being, and I just see all of you wave by so much, and I want to wave back. So if anybody wants to, you're driving. No! As you're driving by, that was a really big gust. Instead of slapping me and knocking the tip off of my cone, you could come by and pick me up and put me into your car. It's definitely not a violation of the law. Not that I'm sentient anymore, we could do some construction together. I could tell you, whoa, Nelly, watch out for this one. Like I normally do, but when you're in the car. You could come. Can I just need to hold on. I'm trying to just let me. I gotta get more appealing so I can try. No.
And that's the game.
Love Trappy.
Precious. We need to protect Trappy.
I don't mean this as Robin the actress. I do mean this as Trappy the traffic cone.
Okay.
Trappy is an 8-year-old boy's dream. Or maybe younger. I don't really know when kids stop getting out of construction. But like wow.
I can take a traffic cone home. Oh boy.
Oh boy. That was something that my college, our class, we would always do like a citywide scavenger hunt.
Mm-hmm.
That was not sanctioned by the college. Like we were doing this like underground.
Sure.
And stealing a traffic cone was like a classic thing.
Yes.
So like that was always something that we got. Yeah. Question.
Do you? I mean, I've had my fair share of makeshift internet generated scavenger hunts and that you film and then everybody watches them at the end. Like, I feel like that was a wholesome trend. Are people not doing that anymore? Was it too wholesome? Do kids do that anymore?
Mine wasn't wholesome.
Oh, wholesome in like the shenanigans I've gotten up to since my scavenger hunt days are nothing. My scavenger hunt days pale in comparison.
Yeah,
that was just mild juvenile mischief.
Oh yeah, no, this was like skinny dipping in a public space and like.
Is that not mild juvenile?
Ripping? I mean, yeah, ripping the flags down off of the campus. We did get in trouble. People did end up taking big old dumps on the president's lawn of the college, the provost. Yeah.
Katie, did I ever have you, or did we ever have you all do the like parf scavenger hunt during rehearsals?
We played sardines and everybody got mad at us.
Well, that was just something that improv track did.
Once people got mad at us.
What happened?
Oh, they were just jealous that we were having a good time and they were working in the heat. And we were building an ensemble, all right? Mm-hmm. You got to trust people out there. You got to know and explore.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Jeff, but
we used to like the second or third week of rehearsals on like a Friday. I used to put together a scavenger hunt and like the winning team got a 6-pack of beer.
I'd remember if he gave me beer. So either
I remember Katie Birch getting very intense about it and upset that her team didn't win.
Yes, actually, that was the memory to trigger me back in. I went. I was like, it's just a game. I do remember that. Was there something on there that you're extra proud of? Like,
well, so I didn't come up with this. It was done when like someone else put together the scavenger hunt and I was a participant. Mm-hmm. But one of the things was like, get a picture with Scott Bowser. And you were just supposed to go to the jail thing that's at the top of the hill because there's a picture of him painted on the side of the building. But Amanda Scott and me and Jake Daly and like a couple of other people were on one team. And we were like, we bet we can find him at the waste treatment plant. So we ran over there and we like peeked our head in and Scott was there. And he was like, you guys shouldn't be back here. And we were like, we just wanted a picture with you.
And then he was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So we were the only team to get a picture with him in actuality. But then it didn't count because we technically left the fairgrounds.
Bullshit.
I think it was a noble cause and I would have allowed the exception.
Yeah, I would have let that happen.
I was like, you guys did it. You guys used your wits and charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent to get that done.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm coming at it because I judged one of those scavenger hunts. Not yours, but one of the ones from my college that was citywide. So like if I were the judge, I would have given you extra points. You would have gotten at least double.
Because that's bravery.
Yeah. Yeah, you're taking a risk there. Although I would ask that none of you would divulge that and the rest of the team doesn't talk about that again because you wouldn't want to encourage just swarms of the Ren Fair actors to fucking surround Scott.
Yeah. Anyone who's listening, do not go to the waste treatment facility.
You don't even know which one.
Yeah.
Could be the other one.
Yeah, could be the one that you're not thinking of.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Did you ever think about that?
You know what I'm not thinking about? Whatever this next game is.
Good segue.
Well, good thing the next game is a challenge of your acting skills because we're going to play a game called Look at That Range. This is a game where the two of you are going to be playing out a scene, and I will give you some different accents and characters and things like that in order to spice it up a little bit. So to get you started, your suggestion comes from Dan Gualtieri. Thank you, Dan. You are old-timey street sweepers. And whenever you're ready, action.
Whoa. Hey, you're kind of sweeping into my area.
Oi, you're not from around here, is you?
No, I'm actually from the colonies.
Oh.
And they didn't want me there, so they sent me back to.
They ain't got no sweep. They ain't got no streets there for you to sweep.
No, I mean it's mostly just dirt and tea bags. Yeah, I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
No wonder your technique is so bad.
Yeah, I'm Amanda.
Hello, Amanda. They call me ma'am.
Freeze. Robin, your character is now Canadian. Action.
Ma'am, eh?
No, not ma'am, eh? Just ma'am.
Oh, sorry about that, eh?
It's all right. It's all right. You know what? You seem like a real sweet kid. And I think you've got what it takes to be a real sweet kid, too. But, tell me a little bit more about the broom you're working with.
Oh, well, this one, well, I wouldn't say that I stole it. I took it from Jim Hortons. The old-timey Jim Hortons.
You took it from Mr. Jim Horton himself.
I did, eh?
Pulled it from under his nose.
Freeze.
Oh,
well, Katie, you're German now.
What? That's from under his schnauz?
Yeah, right under his. Well, I mean, I asked him if I could grab it, and then he said, "Well, I mean, it's mine, but if you want to buy it," and so then I pulled out some money and I gave it to him, and I said sorry about that.
I thought you had some gumption.
Well,
Do you not have the gumption to steal?
Well, I didn't think that I'd need to if I'm going to be a street sweep.
This is now a Love Island style reality show. Action.
This is what you should know, if you should know anything about me at all, is I like a bad boy.
Well, I'm not a bad boy, but I could try to be. My ex was awful, so I'm going to try and be a bad boy this season.
Your first step to bad boyhood is number 1. You must punch me in the face.
Punch you?
In the
face. Robin, you are now Dora the Explorer. And Katie, you are now Julie Andrews.
Well, what should I do? Julie asked me to punch her in the face. Should I? Okay.
Now, let's start at the very beginning. The very first place to start when punching someone is to make a fist. Amanda, make the fist.
I've made the fist. Can you make a fist? Make sure you have a buddy with you.
Free.
All right, Julie.
This is now a 2000s hip hop dance movie. Action.
If you want to really punch me in the face, show me the routine. You know it.
I do, but my headphones are attached to the. So it's going to be a lot of this. That's right. I'm the new kid on the block.
Oh, Robin, I forgot that you were wired. I'm so sorry.
Robin's always wired.
No.
That's right. I work with the feds.
It's extra funny because you wouldn't. I don't think I've seen... are we due for a dance hip-hop movie? Are they still making dance movies for the youngsters?
Not in the same way. I mean, the closest you have is things like the Disney Villainous or whatever it's called, and the Zombies one, right?
Yeah.
But those aren't those are musicals with dance in them.
Sure.
Dance isn't the focus of their story.
Sure.
Yeah, I was thinking Step Up and Save the Last Thing.
And Step Up 2. I was thinking of Step Up and Step Up 2.
Yeah. Bring it on. Bring it harder.
Oh, they did make a sequel.
It was straight to Pornhub though.
There was a day I was watching how Al had something on, one of those movies on, and I went, "Is it this one?" And they were like, "No, it's this one." And then a couple of minutes later, I forgot the name, but I was like, "Is it Step Up? No. Okay, wait, hold on. Is it Bring It On? No. Wait, what is this one?"
Alexa
Which is the one with
Amarante.
Julia Stiles.
Alexa Amarante, wherever you are, hear me now, because she showed me Fired Up, which is like a cheerleading movie.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, how it was the funniest thing I had ever seen. It still lives on in my heart. Like, long when my memory is gone and I forget who everybody is, I'm going to remember Fired Up.
Which cheerleading movie, though? Because I've seen a couple now.
The two football boys don't go to football camp. They go to cheer camp instead. Mm-hmm. Shenanigans ensue. They're not taking it seriously. They're but then they have to like win the title or save something. I think, who's in it? Hold on. Is Kirsten Dunst in it? No, she's not. I'm thinking of somebody else.
That's Bring It On.
Yeah, that's Bring It On.
And then which one has Channing Tatum?
Step Up has Channing Tatum.
Step Up.
Yeah.
And Magic Mike.
I can't keep track.
Which is also a dance movie.
Okay, so there we go. But that one's what, like 2010s?
Yeah. We're due. That's what's wrong. We don't have a dance movie to unite us as a country again. we gotta come together.
Well, I think I know what the three of us need to do this summer. We need to write the next Great American Dance movie
this summer.
We can call it the Great American Dance Movie. And it just like speed runs through all of them.
Yeah, we hit all the tropes, and then we say things that are new and like precious.
You end with TikTok dances, like.
So it's like oh god, what is it? The Artist, but with dancing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about like the dancers having to deal with like the trend of TikTok.
Yeah. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, like how are we gonna evolve with this medium? What happens now that dance is so much more accessible to people and like people are doing it, but it's also not. How do these things gate kept and whatnot, and we deal with all of that?
The democratization of dance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you ever do like a dance or cheerleading movie for Disaster Piece? Was that a genre you never
done like a Bring It On Disaster Piece?
Come on!
I would love to see the improv track cheerleading tournament.
I gotta put this in notes.
Listen, quiet track might be better with like gymnastics, but improv track's got the spirit.
Okay, Bring It On Disaster Piece, noted up. But if you want to see us make, I don't know, that dance movie, we could always use the funding by Venmoing us at IT Crowd. Wow. Plugged it.
Robin is our chair of development.
The fundraising chair.
It's actually
I'm the co-chair.
Futon.
But...
Alex is the accountant, but Katie and Robin are the development team.
That's true.
Right. That's right.
Jeff is the executive director. Haley is the artistic director. Mike, what's Mike? Resident director or like billionaire donor, eccentric donor that it's all named after?
Oh, I was gonna say like weirdly talented janitor that was just discovered, like Good Will Hunting style.
Yep. Jonathan.
I'm casting him in the movie. I'm like, Jonathan's like
this is the
sassy coach.
Yeah. I was gonna say like the director of education for this theater company.
Yes. Yes.
Jonathan fills the role of like the theater teacher from High School Musical. You know, like that's
Jarvis.
High School Musical.
You've never seen
High School Musical?
Jeff, how old are you?
I've never seen High School Musical or Teen Beach Party or like any of that generation of when DComs went strictly musical.
Listen, I think it came out in 2006, and it would have gone straight to Disney because the only one that was out in theaters was number 3, I think. Jeff, I highly recommend you watch it just for seeing the history and how well the High School Musical does, putting in all the preteen tween tropes that everything needs. There's a nerd, there's an athlete, there's like the sassy friend, there's the closeted gay. Like, they do such a good job being a prime example of what storytelling and narrative was at the time. It was so
Time
good.
capsule of 2006 tropes.
Yes,
super
so good.
And it just, like, despite the fact that it's not like the musical that they make isn't the same thing, like those tropes and the way that those characters are filled is exactly how a high school musical in real life high school is structured. It's very good. I've only actually seen the first one, and I saw it last year. I saw the second one this year in like bits and pieces, but I didn't finish. I know. I was in the middle of, there was something else that came up at the time, so like I was kind of in and out of the viewing with friends. But I will be watching.
Speaking of viewing Friends, hi guys.
That's us.
Hey, if we want to, we can move on to our next game, which is going to be a game that we call Two-Headed Expert.
Oh, that's right. I'm so glad.
In this game, Katie and Robin will be answering advice questions that you ask in the comments, but they can only answer one word at a time, going back and forth between the two of them, as if they were one two-headed being who, for some physiological reason, can only speak one word out of one head at a time. Because that's just the way they're built. So get in the comments with the questions that you would like them to answer. I'll start you off, though, with the first question. And that question is going to be, the building manager of my apartment keeps leaving the front door open because they're doing some like work down there, and it's letting in a lot of flies. How do I get rid of the flies that are getting into our apartment?
Flies
often
like
cool
air.
So
what
should
we
think
about
that
which
causes
flies?
Perhaps
we
consider
evacuating
your
lobby
of
air
and
pests.
You
will
be
unable
to
breathe,
but
you
will
not
have
flies.
All right. Thank you both so much. Great. Suffocation is a small price to pay for eradication of pests. Let's see. Debbie Willis Hamlin wants to know how she can meet Sam Reicht.
Well,
Sam
is
a
very
busy
man.
However,
if
you
want
to
impress
him,
you
must
start
dancing
vigorously.
America
loves
dances.
Specifically
The
American
jitterbug
and
the
two-stepped
jive
to the
tune
of
All right. Some solid advice for Debbie. Erin Gualtieri wants to know, how do I get crows to be my friends?
Crows
love
to
search
for
treasure.
Perhaps
you
should
have
some
treasure
about
Your
scavengers
would
seek
this
special
shiny
prize.
if
They
don't
like
the
shiny.
prize,
You
should
consider
perhaps
maybe
killing
yourself.
How did I know it was going in that direction 4 words prior?
No,
you
shouldn't
kill,
yourself.
but
Think
about
what
killing
crows
would
accomplish.
maybe
Killing
crows
could
attract
genies.
A mystery. A true mystery. Brianna Bloomer would like to know, should I tell my siblings they should divorce their spouse?
yes,
You
should.
All right. And finally, Dan Gualtieri wants to know, what's the best way to stay cool in the oppressive heat?
we
Don't
feel
like
hot.
should
Feel
as
a
two-headed
person.
person
However,
for
you
specifically
try
killing
crows.
not
Yourself
that
won't
solve
the
problem.
or
Help
you
stay
cool.
it
Behooves
all
of
us
to
not
lose
our
minds
over.
heat.
So
All right. Thank you both very much. I love, like, all of a sudden every answer is, well, don't kill yourself.
Don't
Well,
kill yourself.
we
Base
gotta
level.
find a base, right? Baseline, don't kill yourself over this.
Always solid advice to start with.
I'm sorry.
Look, that's the millennial humor, though. Like, that
Yeah.
is in our brains. Well, I'll just kill myself.
Just kill myself. Jump off a
There,
bridge.
there is the new trend. I wouldn't call it a trend because I've never seen it really catch water, but it's come across my feed a couple of times of like trying to shift the language from like I'll just kill myself to I'll just put on the best Christmas pageant this place
Yes.
has to offer.
That's
I'll
why we
just-
need another dance movie
Yeah.
Mhm. We need to inspire people.
to not kill themselves.
Please.
That's what, you know what? That's really the underlying message of High School Musical, because no matter how different you are or how alone you feel, you can
Speak it.
find your people. You can.
You can.
You
Your
can.
people.
Your people.
Your people.
So what?
Your people. I used to feel like I was so good at accents.
I'm not good at them
This is gone.
I think I can't remember if I mentioned it at the top of the show or right before, but because you guys keep putting Cajun as like an option for accents, I've started listening to more videos of Cajun speakers because I'm like, they're gonna keep giving it to me, and I need it to stop being bad.
I
So,
was so
Thank you
worried
for
that I was going to
challenging
get
me.
French. I feel you.
Well, Katie, all you need to do is listen to dance movie icon Channing Tatum's Cajun accent in Deadpool and Wolverine.
It's true. It's a very good Cajun accent. Or you could just watch Princess and the Frog. I mean, that's technically Creole, but like Creole and Cajun are like so similar.
Any hoots and hollers.
Any hoots and hollers. We have time for one final game tonight.
All right.
And I think that game is going to be a round of Sex With Me. So this is a quick game where Katie and Robin, and I might chime in every once in a while, will fill in to answer the, like, Sex With Me is like blank, and then they'll explain why that's what sex with them is like. I explain it so well. They have to make it funny. That's why they get paid for comedy.
I do want to start us off with, we were talking about Virgin River at the top of the show. So imagine.
We have not talked about Virgin River enough, though.
Yeah, we talked about it right before we went live.
And then said that we were going to talk about it.
This is the first time they've heard of it. 55 minutes in, because instead we went down Star Trek.
You're so right.
Robin, would you care to give folks a primer on Virgin River?
Sure. Virgin River. It's out on Netflix. I highly recommend watching it. The season 7 is on its way. If you think of like, oh man, I love Hallmark, but I wish they had like a good quality Hallmark TV show, and I miss soap operas, Virgin River's got you covered, because it is a Hallmark TV show soap opera mix. It is beautiful. This nurse practitioner, Mel, she leaves her practice in LA to the small town of Virgin River for some mysterious circumstances. You got to watch the first season to find that one out. And she runs into the only bar in the entirety of this small town in California, Virgin River, where the bartender, Jack Sheridan, is very lumberjack. Get it? Jack, lumberjack Sheridan. And Mel practice. Get it? I just made that one in my brain right now. I just figured that one out.
Does that mean she's not a good doctor?
No, actually, she's really good. But so they fall in love, and like the entirety of the time, you're also having to deal with like Jack's like not technically girlfriend, because they were still super casual, but she was getting like mixed signals. And then you're having to deal with the fact that the mayor is the wife of the doctor who she's like working for, but the doctor doesn't want her because the mayor did it behind his back because he's getting old and needs help. But like the mayor and the doctor are in the process of getting a divorce for 20 years. That's how we start the show. They're in the process of getting a divorce. It's been 20 years in the making, and they're still not finalizing the papers.
Wait, like, they've been trying to get divorced for 20 years.
They gave the papers.
That's like a Sweet Home Alabama little nugget. It feels like.
Yeah, basically.
Sure I'm understanding.
Yeah, so like the papers had been given more
but
or
no
less.
one has ever
they don't live together, right? They're separate. The whole town basically views them as divorced.
Sure.
It's never been legalized, right? And like there's a person with the the best friend of Jack also works at the bar, and he's fallen for a girl with a mysterious past. She could be running from the cops.
And he's a himbo. He's got to be, right?
He's a bit of a himbo. He's a cook, and he's like, that's kind of like
It's like a silly little boy. Yeah, you gotta have that. You gotta have that balance.
And there's like a drug cartel that's just outside the town. And in the first season, they're super dangerous. And the thing that they do is they make weed, and they're super dangerous because
super dangerous.
Like they fucking kidnap Mel in one of the episodes, and like he's surrounded by people holding AK-47s, and like they're having a very serious conversation
over marijuana.
What is this? And the guy, like Jack is like, yeah, these people they make pot, and I'm like, that's AK-47 worthy. That's they have since evolved as the seasons go on. You can feel the sensibilities change, and now they do fentanyl. So
we're running too big of an operation to be peddling this legalized stuff.
By like season 3, they do not mention weed at all. Like it's not even thought about. They just talk about the fentanyl. It's so good, guys. I completely run out the time and we're not playing.
No. We still have time for a couple of sex with me.
Okay.
So now that you're in your Virgin River mindset, let's do some sex with me. We'll start with
Let's do some sex.
Sex with me is like an emotional support water bottle.
Sex with me is like an emotional support water bottle. You can bang me on every surface.
Yeah.
Sex with me is like an emotional support water bottle. You need a strap or you're just going to keep dropping me.
Oh, shit.
Sex with me is like an emotional support water bottle. You're going to be sucking on it even if you're not getting anything out of it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say sex with me is like an emotional support water bottle. Glug, glug, glug.
All right, next one. Sex with me is like one of those 4-color pens.
Sex with me is like one of the 4-colored pens. You don't know which button you want to press, but you kind of want to press them all, but it won't work. So you got to just press one at a time.
Sex with me is like those 4-colored pens. They're a rarity nowadays.
Sex with me is like one of those 4-colored pens. Great for getting your homework done.
Oh.
Sex with me is like one of those 4-colored pens. A real novelty.
All right, next one. Sex with me is like a local diner.
Sex with me. Nope. Sex with me is like a local diner. You know what you want. Don't be embarrassed about it. It's okay.
Sex with me is like a local diner. You're going to smell like cigarette smoke afterwards, even though you didn't have one.
Sex with me is like a local diner. You're going to get those eggs scrambled, baby.
Hey!
Sex with me is like a local diner, cheap and ready to eat.
And that's the game. And that's the show. Katie, Robin, thank you so much for being here, talking film theory and philosophy and storytelling and analysis and all of that, and doing some fun improv.
You know how we have raw dog improv? I do feel like we need a second thing for this group. Like, this is raw dog improv, but like refined.
Yeah, this is masterclass improv. But it's masterclass raw dog improv. Like, you can't quite say that it's masterclass improv because that implies that this is like masterclass level of improv. But it's improv, and then we talk about masterclass stuff over here.
It's like the improv intellectualists, the improv intellectualists,
the IIT crowd.
The IT talks.
Ooh,
IT talks, but it sounded like the TED Talks font.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, Michael Adelson, if you're watching tonight, the IT talks for when it's Katie, Robin, and me. There we go. Katie, Robin, anything you want to say to the people at home?
I mean, stay curious and inquisitive about the art that you consume, because it just makes for better art and better consumption.
Hell yeah.
And don't kill yourself.
Oh, and don't kill yourself. Yeah, don't do that.
And don't do that.
Very,
and if any of you are in Chicago this weekend, come to the Bug House Theater for Part Dog Show. It's an improv show that I will not be doing improv at. I will just be performing magic during the first 15 minutes of. I'm their opening act.
Is that Friday?
It's Saturday.
Oh, okay.
The IT crowd.
Guys, I did it again where I hit the thing and then didn't end the stream. So now you're going to watch the outro twice.
The IT crowd.